Do you ever feel drained by the constant demands of social life? Maybe you've even thought about stepping back, but you're not sure if it's the right choice, or if it's something only people of a certain age should consider. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not alone. I'm 65, and I made the decision to avoid people, and honestly, it's been one of the best choices I've ever made. Today, I'll explain why I chose this path, how it's transformed my life, and how you might benefit from taking a step back too. Stick around because you might just find a new way to live your healthiest, happiest life. If you're here, chances are you're either questioning your own social life or maybe even feeling a bit overwhelmed by the constant expectations to engage with others. I completely get it. At 65, I've found that social interactions, while important, can sometimes feel like a pressure rather than a pleasure. Over the years, I've learned that making intentional choices about who I spend time with and when I choose to be social has had a huge impact on my well-being. This video is especially important for those of us in our later years, when social obligations can feel more draining than fulfilling. On one hand, there's this expectation to stay connected, to attend gatherings, and to keep up appearances. On the other hand, there's the reality of how these demands can leave us feeling exhausted, disconnected, and even lonely, despite being surrounded by people. But it doesn't have to be that way. I've taken control of my social life by reducing the pressure, stepping back when needed, and prioritizing my health and peace of mind. In this video, I'll take you through the reasons behind my decision and share how it's brought more balance, joy, and energy into my life. And if you find this content helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more videos about living well after 60. Let's dive in. One of the most significant changes I've noticed since stepping back from social interactions is the positive effect on my mental health. In the past, I found myself constantly juggling invitations, family events, and obligations that left me mentally drained, often before I even arrived. It felt like I was always on, trying to manage expectations and navigate social dynamics that weren't always in sync with how I was truly feeling. It wasn't just exhausting, it was mentally overwhelming. By choosing to distance myself from these situations, I've been able to eliminate a lot of the stress and anxiety that came with them. The truth is, constantly interacting with people, especially those who demand a lot of your energy, can create a kind of mental fog. It's easy to lose focus when your mind is always preoccupied with what's coming next, who needs what, or when the next social event is. It becomes a cycle of decision fatigue, where you can't even focus on what you truly need because you're too consumed by what everyone else expects. Now, I've found that I have so much more mental clarity. Without the noise of social demands, I'm able to focus on the things that matter most to me, whether it's reading, spending time in nature, or simply sitting in quiet reflection. There's a peace that comes with slowing down and giving yourself the space to breathe and think without the constant pressure of external expectations. It's incredible how much lighter my mind feels. I'm able to make clearer decisions, not based on what others think I should do, but on what genuinely aligns with my values and needs. I wake up each day with a sense of calm, knowing that I have control over my schedule and that I don't have to rush to keep up with anyone else's agenda. And this newfound mental peace isn't just about reducing stress. It's about embracing a more mindful way of living. Every day I'm able to be present in the moment, whether I'm enjoying a quiet cup of coffee, focusing on a project, or just sitting in stillness. The absence of constant social obligations has made me realize how much of our mental energy is consumed by things that don't add true value to our lives. Instead, I can now invest that energy in maintaining my mental well-being, and it's been transformative. As we get older, we start to notice how much more energy social interactions can drain from us. When I was younger, I didn't think twice about going to back-to-back events or catching up with friends, no matter how I felt. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that socializing can sometimes feel like an energy-sapping task rather than a joyful experience. I remember attending family gatherings or group outings, and by the end of the day, I'd feel completely wiped out, physically and emotionally. It wasn't just the socializing itself, but the small talk, the constant adjusting to other people's moods and needs, and the general buzz of activity. These situations would leave me with little energy for things I truly enjoyed, like reading or working on personal projects. Now, by choosing when and with whom I spend my time, I conserve a lot of that energy. Instead of feeling drained after a social engagement, I'm able to focus on things that fuel me, like gardening, cooking, or taking long walks. Having the energy to engage in self-care and personal hobbies has become a priority, and it's been incredibly rewarding. This conserved energy has allowed me to feel more vibrant and present in the activities that matter most to me. Rather than pushing myself into every social situation, I now get to choose the ones that align with my energy levels and desires, giving me a much better quality of life. One of the most powerful benefits of stepping back from constant social obligations is the time and mental space it has freed up for me to focus on what truly matters. When I was caught up in the whirlwind of social events and commitments, I often found myself going through the motions, never really dedicating time to the things that brought me the most fulfillment, whether that was diving deeper into a passion or prioritizing my health. Now, with fewer distractions, I've been able to dedicate more time to personal interests that I had once neglected. For example, I've rediscovered my love for writing and gardening, both of which bring me immense joy and a sense of accomplishment. I've also made my health a priority in ways I hadn't before, whether it's cooking meals that nourish my body or incorporating more exercise into my routine. These are things that truly improve my life, but they wouldn't have been possible if I was still trying to keep up with every social invitation. Additionally, I've been able to spend more meaningful time with loved ones, but in a way that feels authentic and low pressure. Instead of trying to keep up with large family gatherings or numerous friendships, I focus on quality over quantity. Smaller, more intimate moments with people I care about have been so much more fulfilling than forcing myself to be at every event. Now, I encourage you to think about your own life. If you could free yourself from the constant pull of social demands, what could you focus on? What personal passions or hobbies could you explore? What would it feel like to prioritize your well-being over societal expectations? These are powerful questions to reflect on, and I hope you'll consider how stepping back from unnecessary social obligations could lead to more space for what truly matters in your life. As we age, we become more attuned to the energy that people bring into our lives. I've learned the hard way that not all social interactions are uplifting, and some can actually be emotionally and mentally draining. Over the years, I found myself constantly feeling exhausted or even upset after spending time with certain people. There were individuals who, no matter how much I tried to be supportive, always seemed to bring negativity into the room, whether it was constant complaining, drama, or just an overall toxic attitude. I remember one particular friendship that, for a long time, I thought was harmless. But after spending time with this person, I'd often leave feeling emotionally drained, like my energy was just siphoned away. They would vent endlessly about their problems without any interest in listening or offering support in return. It wasn't even the content of the conversations that was draining. It was the constant negativity and the feeling of being emotionally depleted. This took a toll on my mental health, leaving me stressed, anxious, and sometimes questioning my own worth. Gradually, I started recognizing the signs that these interactions weren't just unpleasant moments, they were having a real impact on my emotional well-being. So I began to distance myself from these individuals and situations. It wasn't about rejecting them or being unkind. It was about creating boundaries to protect my peace. I made a conscious decision to limit the time I spent with people who left me feeling negative or drained. Instead, I focused on surrounding myself with those who uplifted me, inspired me, or simply allowed me to be myself without any judgment. The result? A dramatic improvement in my emotional and mental state. I noticed that I felt lighter, happier, and less stressed. By reducing the influence of toxic people and situations, I created space for positivity and personal growth. I started being more selective about the energy I allowed into my life, and it made all the difference. It's not about cutting people out entirely. It's about prioritizing your own well-being and choosing to protect your emotional energy. By distancing myself from negativity, I've created an environment where I can thrive, reflect, and focus on becoming the best version of myself. Solitude is often misunderstood, especially in a world that values constant connectivity and social interaction. But for me, embracing time alone has been one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. At 65, I've realized that solitude isn't about being lonely. It's about giving yourself the space to reflect, grow, and truly understand who you are without external distractions. Spending time alone has allowed me to look inward and focus on what really matters to me. In the quiet moments of solitude, I've been able to explore my thoughts, my feelings, and my aspirations in a way that social interactions rarely allow. There's something incredibly liberating about not having to worry about how others perceive you or what they expect from you. It's just you, your thoughts, and the freedom to explore them at your own pace. Through this time alone, I've become more self-aware. I've gained a deeper understanding of my strengths, my needs, and even my limitations. There's a clarity that comes with being by yourself, free from the noise of other people's opinions. Solitude has given me the opportunity to reflect on my past experiences, lessons learned, and how I can apply them moving forward. It's as if I've unlocked a new layer of personal insight that I hadn't fully tapped into before. Beyond self-awareness, solitude has made me more content. I no longer feel the need to fill every moment with activity or people. I've learned to enjoy my own company, which has translated into a greater sense of peace. Whether it's reading a book, taking a long walk, or simply sitting quietly with my thoughts, I now find joy in the simple moments of solitude. This contentment with being alone has brought a profound sense of fulfillment that socializing never quite offered. Embracing solitude has been an essential part of my self-growth. It's given me the opportunity to deepen my understanding of who I am and what I truly want from life, without the influence of others. And that's a gift I think everyone, especially as we get older, could benefit from. Allowing yourself the freedom to embrace solitude and grow into the person you were always meant to be. As we approach the final section of this video, I want to share something that's been absolutely essential for maintaining balance in my social life while still protecting my peace. It's a strategy I've used to set healthy boundaries with others, so I don't feel overwhelmed or guilty about choosing solitude. Trust me, this tip has made all the difference, and it's something that anyone can apply to their own life, no matter what stage you're at. If you've ever struggled with feeling guilty for saying no, or wished you had a way to confidently protect your energy without cutting people off, this upcoming tip is for you. Stay tuned, because I'll reveal exactly how I manage these situations and how it's helped me create a healthy balance between social interaction and personal time. You won't want to miss it, so make sure you stick around. Now let me share with you the strategy that has been a game changer in maintaining balance in my social life while protecting my peace. It all comes down to setting healthy boundaries, and doing so in a way that doesn't feel harsh or unkind. Over the years, I've found that learning how to politely decline invitations, carve out space for solitude, and stay connected on my own terms is crucial for my well-being. First, when it comes to declining invitations, I've learned to be straightforward, but with kindness. I simply let people know that I have other commitments or that I'm taking some time for myself. For example, I might say, "I really appreciate the invite, but I've been feeling the need to spend some quiet time at home to recharge." It's honest, respectful, and doesn't require an explanation. Most people understand that we all need downtime. I've also realized that it's okay to not give a reason every time. Sometimes simply saying, "I'm going to pass this time," is enough. Creating space for solitude without offending others can be tricky, especially when you're close to people who expect your presence at every event or gathering. But over time, I've learned to frame it in a way that's respectful of their feelings while still taking care of mine. For instance, when someone asks me to join a group activity, I'll let them know that I'm focusing on a personal project or that I'm prioritizing my mental health for the time being. This makes it clear that my decision is about self-care and not about rejecting them. When it comes to staying connected, I've found that quality matters far more than quantity. Instead of trying to keep up with every social invitation, I choose to make my interactions more meaningful. I set aside time for one-on-one conversations with close friends or family where we can genuinely connect without the distraction of larger group settings. I also make it a point to check in with people via text or a quick call so they know I'm still thinking of them, even if I'm not able to attend every gathering. Navigating family dynamics has been one of the biggest challenges. It's tough when family members are used to seeing you at every event. But over time, I've found that being transparent about my need for alone time has helped. I let my family know that I cherish our time together, but I also need to take care of myself. I'll sometimes suggest smaller, more intimate get-togethers, like a quiet dinner instead of a big family reunion, so I can still participate in the connection, but in a way that doesn't overwhelm me. With friends and acquaintances, I've also learned that it's okay to be less available without cutting ties completely. I prioritize the friendships that nourish me, and I let others know that my time and energy are limited, but I appreciate them and will reach out when I can. This approach allows me to maintain meaningful relationships without feeling stretched too thin. By setting these boundaries, I've created a lifestyle that honors both my need for solitude and my desire for connection. It's been a game changer, and I can honestly say that it's allowed me to feel more at peace, more engaged in the things that matter, and more in control of my social interactions. I encourage you to try these strategies for yourself and see how they can help you maintain a healthy balance in your own life. To wrap up, let's quickly recap the key points I've shared today about the power of solitude and setting healthy boundaries. First, stepping back from constant social obligations has allowed me to prioritize my mental health, reduce stress, and improve focus. By limiting overwhelming social interactions, I've found a sense of mental clarity that helps me feel more at peace daily. Second, by choosing who and when to interact with, I've conserved my energy, which has allowed me to engage more in the activities I truly care about, whether that's hobbies, self-care, or just enjoying quiet moments. I no longer feel drained after social events, but instead feel revitalized. Third, the time and mental space that come with distancing from social pressures have given me the opportunity to focus on what truly matters to me. Whether it's personal passions or spending quality time with loved ones, I've learned to prioritize what aligns with my values. We also touched on the importance of reducing negative energy. By distancing myself from toxic people and draining situations, I've created an environment that nurtures my emotional and mental well-being. It's not about rejecting people, but about protecting your peace. Lastly, embracing solitude has been an incredibly powerful tool for self-growth. It's allowed me to reflect, become more self-aware, and find contentment in simply being alone with my thoughts. Solitude has given me the space to grow into the person I truly want to be. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed or drained by social demands, I encourage you to try embracing some of these strategies. Set boundaries, create space for solitude, and focus on what matters most to you. By doing so, you'll not only protect your peace, but also create a life that truly reflects who you are. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Sharing this video with someone you think might benefit from these insights could help them too, so feel free to pass it along. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more content like this, where I dive into tips for improving your well-being and living your best life after 60. I'd love to hear about your experiences with solitude and setting boundaries. Have you ever found peace in spending time alone or struggled with saying no to social obligations? Drop a comment below and let's have a conversation. Also, don't forget to check out the description for any additional resources I've linked to help you on your journey toward a more balanced and fulfilling life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.